Welcome to World at Rest, a podcast about the future of the human race and how we can get there. This is episode 5, entitled, Is Springfield at Rest? Three days after I posted this podcast, the Supreme Court released their decision. And it is not good news for the 10,000 Haitians who live in Springfield or the city of Springfield, who has benefited so greatly from them being there. 6 of the 9 justices voted to say essentially that temporary protective status means temporary, and therefore they've called an end to it. And as Viles Dorsonville said in this podcast, all of the people who are from Haiti will now have their lives placed at risk if they are sent back to Haiti before the Haitian government is prepared to protect them from the gangs who are kidnapping and willy-nilly killing people on the streets of Haiti. People who come back from America are going to become targets. The faith and the trust of the people of Haiti who worked so hard to fit into American society and carry jobs and make the adjustments necessary to contribute to the Springfield economy, all of those people are going to be greatly hurting. I still think that the content of this podcast is relevant because it sets the record straight on what the Haitian people are like. By meeting Viles Dorsonville, you can see the heart of a person who places his faith in God and is respectful of American history and admires the American tradition of welcoming people from every corner of the earth to prove by their commitment to the value of all people that a nation can exist which doesn't require a person to be from any nation or from any ethnic group. That was the American dream, and it still beats in the heart of Viles Dorsonville and all of those Haitians who came here wanting to build something in a new place where their work will not be in vain. And I hope that you go ahead and listen to what Carl Ruby and Viles Dorsonville said, and I think that with me, you're likely to feel very saddened by this turn of events. Thanks for listening to this podcast, and I hope that you can translate your concern into political force that will have an impact. Right now, Democrats in the Senate are trying to get the Senate to take up a bill that the House passed earlier this year, which would put a law in place that explicitly extends temporary protective status for people like the Haitians or Syrians who do not have a safe place to return to. I am still completely convinced that the world will be at rest in just a matter of decades, but this is a great example of why problems that we face in this country and in many other countries of the world will be better solved by a competent and dedicated government, the kind that is promised on the pages of the Bible. It's still appropriate to pray, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth, as it is in heaven." Thank you for listening.
It's great talking to you again. I want to introduce you to my friend, Viles Dorsonville. Number one, he's a dear friend of mine. He's from Haiti. He is one of the founders and the director for the Haitian Support Center, working on a degree at Wright State, has a deep love for Haiti, and is also a member and elder here at the Central Christian Church.
Talk to me about your experience coming here from Haiti.
I was born and raised in Haiti. I was born in a Christian family, the Baptist church, and after I become a Moravian, went to Jamaica, the seminary, 2013, and went back to Haiti doing missionary work. In 2020, things started to be worse in Haiti when it comes to insecurity. So I had to leave to come here to the USA to find a safe haven, and I've been here since then, over the past 5 years.
How would you define a safe haven?
A safe haven for us is a place where we can be sending our kids to school or go to work. We don't have to hear gunshot on a daily basis because back home, all of a sudden, you gunshot just start. And, yeah, and then the kidnapping cases the rate is very high in Haiti. And the thing is, we have like a collapsed justice system, and the government cannot normally help anybody. You're on your own, anything that happens to you. For me, a safe haven is a place where you can be having a normal life, go to work, from all type of trouble that we had been experiencing back home in Haiti when it comes to kidnapping cases, insecurity, injustice, food insecurity, and all of this. And when we came here, this is what we were looking for.
Let me ask a question. Does it still feel like a safe haven to you in light of all that's happened politically since the presidential debates and some of the comments that were made about Haitians?
Yeah, comparing to what is happening home, I think yes. But the only thing is that we are in limbo now with all those immigration crackdown. So we are in a position like it's like a catch-22 for us because we never expected to get into that situation when we came here.
Yeah, Haitians they've come here legally, they have done everything that we have asked them to do. And not only that, Springfield is a Rust Belt city. We've been shrinking for 50 years.
Right.
And when Haitians arrived in mass, that's the first time this city has grown in half a century.
Right.
And Haitians have contributed to our economy. They've contributed to our culture. And I think it's important to say they have contributed to our church culture. Churches in Springfield were going down in attendance. We have an aging population. There aren't a lot of new people moving in. And suddenly that reversed here at Central. And we've had probably 40 Haitians join the church. There's a larger number that attend. And it's not us. The important thing is it's not us helping them. It's them helping us. They brought in a level of enthusiasm and faith. And it seems like the more stuff that gets thrown at them, the more joyful they become. And their faith is just such an example to us. They have had to learn to trust God for things that I have not had to trust God for.
Give me some examples where you've seen spiritual growth in you and your community, your Haitian community, in the experience you're going through.
For the start of the year, we were in a very bad position with all those immigration crises.
The start of this year?
Yeah, of this year. And we normally reflected as a church and as a Haitian people on Genesis 1. Genesis chapter 1, when God created the whole world, it was chaotic. Yeah. God brought order to it. Let there be light. And our lives was just like a chaos, just chaos. We had so much uncertainty. We didn't know what to do. We were very fearful of family separation and all of this. We were out of jobs, and employers didn't want to employ us because they didn't want to invest in the people that they do not know how long they're going to have them. It was very difficult for us just to put food on the table for their kids and so forth and so on. And we were very afraid of being picked up on the street or whatever. And folks now were in limbo, and all that we can do is to reflect on God's word, believing that can bring order to that chaos that we've been experiencing. And we've been observing that God has been doing things, even though we are still experiencing it, but we believe that it would have been worse. But up to now, even though we are waiting for the Supreme Court ruling, But from January to here, we see God has sustained us to be here. And we will still rely on Him for whatever decision that the Supreme Court will take, because we know that He will make a way for us through all of this.
What is the issue before the court right now?
We've been real involved in following a case called Mayo versus Donald J. Trump. And it is a case that has been combined with another case involving Syrians, and it has to do with Homeland Security's attempt to end temporary protective status. What the case argues on behalf of plaintiffs is that this is racially motivated. They didn't follow their own procedures. They've done nothing to assure that it's safe to go back to Haiti, and that the president is out of his bounds in ending TPS right now. Viles and I were at that case. We were able to attend, and now we're waiting for the results, which could come anytime between today and could be into October. Most likely it's going to be at the end of June. That's when we're expecting an answer. And if they rule in the president's favor, all of a sudden, all of the Haitians would lose their protection from deportation. And I think most importantly, they would lose their ability to work. They would lose their work permits. So what the government is trying to do, they're trying to create an environment where Haitians will self-deport by making them as miserable as possible. And Viles and I have met with ICE on a couple of occasions and talked with them, and they've pretty much acknowledged that's their plan.
So if at the end of June you get a complete negative vote by the Supreme Court, then they're going to be hustled out of the country, or they'll lose their work permits.
We know they'll lose their work permit, and matter of fact, we were just in a meeting today learning about ICE tactics, and what they seem to be doing right now is focusing on targeted removals. So they'll find someone who already has a removal order. So for example, if a Haitian talks to someone about filling out an asylum application and it's filled out incorrectly, or if they're on TPS and they're required to check in once in a while, if they don't, then they get deportation orders. So what's happening right now is people are afraid to show up for fear that they'll be apprehended.
Yes.
But once they don't show up, then they lose their temporary protected status and are subject to deportation.
Now, talk about, do you have a family here?
I live with my little brother and a friend of mine.
Okay.
My daughter is back home.
Okay. Talk about any families that you know and how these experiences are affecting them as people.
First of all, as a center, we work with the people on the ground. That's the first thing. They call our office, and we bring food to them because they have issue driving around. So we experience firsthand what they are going through. As of yesterday, we were distributing food to families, and you saw them being stuck at home, being afraid to go on the street, and they're not working and they have babies. And yesterday again, I received a woman in our office. She came explaining to us that her husband has been held in jail for 11 months, and she had an appointment and she was afraid to go to that appointment, and they put her on removal proceeding, on removal order. And secondly, sometimes they target the main provider of the family, and once they take them, now all the rest of the family is in trouble by the fact that they cannot provide for themselves. This is what we are experiencing. This is what families are going through now.
Now, talk to me about the way people of Springfield are acting toward you. Are you catching a collective cold shoulder from the people of Springfield? What does it feel like as, being a stranger and then now having been here for some time? In your case, is it 5 years?
Yes, I have to say that Springfield is a welcoming city. The first category of people is people who've been experiencing Haitians' lives firsthand.
Firsthand.
Yes.
People who actually have dealings with Haitians.
Yes, they deal with them at workplace, in school, in factories, in the community. They take time to understand them, to see their struggles, and to understand as well that they're hard workers. So when they stay in solidarity with us, it is based on what they know of. They are
Yes.
aware of us. They give themselves time to know that we're going from afar. And we came here not because most of us wanted to come here, but it is because the human instinct had pushed us to look for a safe haven.
Yeah.
And when we came here, they welcome us. They talk to us. They try to understand our culture, our language. And among those people, you would find people working in G92, Springfield Neighbors United, Central Christian Church, St. Vincent de Paul, Nehemiah Foundation. There are a lot of organizations in town who understand our struggles and try to make a difference in terms of the way they treat us with respect and dignity and the way they serve us.
Good.
And the second category of people are folks who just see us and do not give themselves time to know who we are.
Okay.
Maybe they are consuming too much of what the media says. They are consuming too much of misinformation or disinformation. Or they just don't want to be patient and open the worldview to understand other people.
Yes.
So those people now, when they speak, they say that we shouldn't be here. We came to take advantages of the country, so we should be removed or whatever. But we understand them. We understand that they are people. They try to shield themselves from what they call the other.
Well, do you have a sense for the proportions?
We always say that for the most part, they're not a large group, but they're also vocal. They're extremely vocal.
So the ones who are not happy
Yeah.
with having Haitians in Springfield are vocal, but you see them as a minority?
Yeah, I would say that because for the most part, we are welcomed. When we were into trouble with all this conspiracy theory of eating cats and pets,
Yeah.
I think the local government, they took a stand against that, saying that there was nothing like this happening in the city.
Yes.
And we have the support of the community, and they knew that it was like a false claim. So this is why they have been organizing resources, putting on trainings to make sure that they understand what is going on. Those people want to be part of the solution. But based on my experience in Springfield, I can testify that Springfield is a welcoming city.
What's the most hopeful thing that you're seeing in the current experiences? What gives you the most hope for either the short-term or the long-term future?
I think this is a very good question, actually. My hope firstly lies on God, because I'm a person of faith. But the second thing is that there are so many Americans who are so much community-oriented, who are ready to stand in solidarity with the most vulnerable people. Because those Americans, they most likely rely on the approach of maybe Ronald Reagan, when he said that you can go to Japan, you're not a Japanese. You can go to French, you're not a French. But when you come to America, you can be an American. Because they see that being an American is not likely has to do with ethnicity, but it has to do with civic, the way you engage in the community, the value you bring to the country.
Yeah.
Your level of morality, your level of ethic. So if you are being in the US, you can be an American, the way you take care of your neighbors, the way you see other people. And I believe that this is the core foundation of the country. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter the language you speak. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. Once you are here and you're able to go to school, to take care of your family, to take care of your neighbors, to contribute to the economy of your country, to engage in the community, to serve other people, and it doesn't matter the background of the people that you are serving. And now you can become an American based upon those values. And my hope rely on the fact that I see so many Americans understand that fact, and they work towards keeping that type of value in America.
Yeah.
And if I can share my experience from the time I have been here, from the time the Haitian community have been in trouble, I see so many organizations taking a stand to listen from different perspectives, whether you are conservative, whether you are centric, or whether you are liberal. They give themselves time to listen to everybody and to see what is at stake. And what they came up with is that it's not a question of you being black or me being white. It's a question of when they look at you, they see the image of God. They see a person that deserves to be treated with respect and dignity. And I think this is where I see the hope lies for the most part.
Let me tell you about an event that was organized here in Springfield. We were trying to get a group of pastors, maybe 20 pastors, to get together, and a couple hundred people who are people of faith, Christian people, to talk about God's love for immigrants. We staged this event the day before TPS was supposed to end, and our event was on February 2nd. And it was called Here We Stand. We're Standing with Haitians. And the day of the event, we ended up having hundreds of pastors show up and 1,300 people. So much so that the fire marshal came in 3 times making people leave. And it was a powerful, worshipful event. We had about 30 speakers, one after another, who would get up and talk about God's love for immigrants and about our duty to love and support them. And it was just absolutely beautiful. One of the most beautiful things I've ever experienced.
Mm-hmm. And this was February
2nd.
of this year.
Yeah. Can we talk about how people could support Haitian support?
Yes, do that. Yeah, why don't you kick it off and let Viles add in his thoughts.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people who have heard about what we're doing here in Springfield. We're trying to build a network of churches who will stand with Haitians. And after one of our events, a total of like $80,000 came in contributions to our organization. And we're just an ad hoc group. We're not even incorporated. So people want to help. And the best way to do that is not to send money to our group of churches, but to contribute directly to the Haitian Support Center. And you can find them online. You can donate online. But they are they're like the tip of the spear in terms of meeting the needs of people who are struggling to pay rent, can't afford an attorney, have food needs. So if there's anyone who is moved by the story and wants to actually do something that's helpful, I can't say enough about the good work the Haitian Support Center is doing.
Okay. And Viles, what's your role in the Haitian Support Center?
I am the co-founder and the executive director for the center. And they can find us at HaitianSupportCenter.org.
How can we close up? What do you think you'd like to say in summary?
Right now, the fate of Haitians is hanging in the hands of the Supreme Court justices. And they're going to make a decision within the next few weeks that will determine whether people like Viles may be sent back to Haiti, where their lives are going to be in danger, or whether they're allowed to stay here until it is safe to go back. it's hard to influence the Supreme Court justices directly.
Yeah.
But we're really encouraging people to pray for people like Amy Coney Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh, Justice Roberts. We need two of those three to vote in favor of extending TPS in order for TPS to be extended. We believe in the power of prayer, and that's the next crucial thing that's going to happen as this story unfolds.
All right, good. And how about you, Viles? What would you like to say?
All I would like to say is, as Pastor Cole said, for folks to continue to keep us in prayers, because we need prayer for now, and continue to stay in solidarity with the most vulnerable group of people in your community and anywhere, because those folks need your support.
Now, if the people did send money, how would it be used? What would it do?
We are helping with rent, utilities, food distribution, clothes, transportation, legal fees.
Because people have lost their jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
They were working, they had jobs, but because of this trouble.
Exactly. I think that one of the things that people have to know is that when those folks came here, they came with the purpose of working. So that's the purpose. But because of all those immigration crackdown, they are in a position where they lose the work permit, and so many employers are afraid of or reluctant of employing them. So because of that, we are kind of facing some type of humanitarian crisis where folks are in need of clothes, food, legal fees, utilities, and rent payment. So we are helping with all of this.
And it's a crisis that didn't need to happen.
Exactly, and that didn't need to happen. But this is what our community is facing now. So we are helping with those.
I think another important part of the story is this isn't just having an adverse impact on Haitians. This is hurting Springfield.
Yes.
We went from being one of the fastest growing small cities in America to being one of the fastest shrinking cities overnight. When the president made his comments about Haitians, the false comments about them eating pets, which are just offensive and ugly and nasty. And I hate to even say them out loud. But another thing, there's this economic boom happening, and a couple of things have happened. We became the city with the largest loss in jobs in the year after that comment. And we used to get a number of companies contacting Chamber of Commerce and thinking about moving into the community. And I was talking to the president of Chamber of Commerce, and he said that since that comment, they have not received a single request to come to Springfield. So those are the direct results of the president's comments. And he claimed that Haitians have made the once idyllic city of Springfield into a third world urban nightmare. And I would just say, come and visit. Even with the hardship that the comments have caused, downtown is coming back, restaurants are coming back, houses are going up. It's exactly the opposite. These are the best days for Springfield in the last 50 years, and we hope we get back on that track of growing again.
You're both pastors. I want both of you to give me a scripture that you think is relevant to this topic.
I've been relying more on Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd and I shall not want. And I think Jeremiah 11:29 too, for I know the plan I have for you, the plan to prosper you and to give you a future. I think that the scriptures are my roadmap while I've been here.
Very good. Very good. How about you, Carl?
I'm going to pick a verse out of Matthew 5 in the Beatitudes that says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God." And I think this is an opportunity for Christian people to stand up as peacemakers. And I think there's a huge Christianity has a bad reputation for judging people and rejecting people and excluding people. And this is a chance for us to demonstrate the true heart of Christianity, where we treat people like we would like to be treated, and we love our neighbors as we love ourselves. And we engage ourselves actively in creating peace for the Haitian families and other immigrant families who are being caught up in this anti-immigrant climate that we're in nationally.
Oh, man. Thank you, man. We got everything we need. This has been episode 5 of World at Rest, a conversation with Carl Ruby and Viles Dorsonville. My name is Owen Richard Kindig. I would love to hear from you as to what you think of the topics I choose and the presentation quality I deliver. Thank you so much.